Hi everyone, and welcome back to tasks number 2, Intro to Phishing Attacks. So let's begin. Before you learn what phishing is, you'll need to understand the term social engineering. Social engineering is the psychological manipulation of people into performing or divulging information by exploiting weaknesses in human nature. These weaknesses can be curiosity, jealousy, greed, and even kindness, and the willingness to help someone. Phishing is a source of social engineering delivered through email to trick someone into either revealing personal information, credentials, or even executing malicious code on their computer. These emails will usually appear to come from a trusted source, whether it's a business or a person. Sorry for flipping that right there. They include content that tries to tempt or trick people into downloading software, opening attachments, or following links to a bogus website. A term you'll come across and the type of phishing attack a red team will participate in is spear phishing. As with throwing a physical spear, you'd have a target to aim at. The same can be said with spear phishing, in that you're targeting an individual, business, or organization rather than just anybody as mass. This is an effective form of phishing for a red team engagement. As they are bespoke to the target, it makes them hard to detect by the technology such as spam filters, antivirus, and firewalls. A red team could also be contracted to solely carry out a phishing assessment to see whether a business is vulnerable to this type of attack, or it could also be part of a broader scale assessment and used to gain access to computer systems or services. Some other methods of phishing through other mediums are smishing, which is phishing through SMS messages, and vishing, which is performed through phone calls. I just want to pause right there. That's a lot of really good information. Particularly, just starting off here, there's also, the weaknesses, not only just about curiosity and jealousy and greed. There's also fear of missing out, which is FOMO. You'll see a lot of people, a lot of those phishing attacks, they'll come out and they'll have a timer, like, the next 5 people that click on this button, we can only accept them, and so you have to hurry right now and act right now. And spear phishing, you see that a lot, and you see a lot of it called business email compromise. It's always somebody posing as somebody else. A lot of that is maybe somebody posing as that person asking for a favor, the old favor scam that has gone around. Hey, do you have a couple minutes? I'm in a meeting. I need you to go out and buy Amazon gift cards and then send me the code. And believe it or not, I've actually seen that work in person. I always thought that was something that was just kind of happened in companies in times, and it didn't really happen ever in person, but I've seen it actually happen in person. And I might actually tell a few stories if we get to them later on in this course if I have time. But just to continue, example scenario. The below example scenario shows how an employee of a company can be tricked in revealing their credentials. So an attacker locates a physical location of the business target, and that's right there. The attacker then looks for a nearby food supplier and discovers a company called Ultimate Cookies. The attacker registers the domain. That's obviously a fake domain. And usually you would see that the top level domain would usually be a .com or a .org or a .net, but the actual URL would always be like one off, or maybe there'd be an extra character, and they would actually try to hide that as best as possible. So when you read it, it's just too quickly read, and you don't notice it's not coming from Facebook. It's coming from Facebook with 2 Ks. So then the attacker then crafts an email to their target, tempting them with an offer of some free cookies. If they sign up to the website, because a victim has heard of this local company, they're more likely to trust it. And that is that right there. And this is that fake website from step 3. And then this is step 5. The victim then follows a link to the email, link in the email to the fake website created by the attacker, registers online. To keep things simple, the victim reuses the same passwords for all their online accounts. That happens a lot in a lot of companies. The attacker now has the victim's email addresses and passwords and can log into the victim's company's email account, and the attacker could now have access to private company information and also have somewhere to launch another phishing attack against other employees, which is very true. So next you'll learn what goes in setting up the infrastructure for a red team phishing campaign. So what type of psychological manipulation is phishing a part of? And the answer is going to be social engineering. What type of phishing campaign do red teams get involved in? And that will be spear phishing campaigns. Oh, are they looking for something else? Um, well, oh, I think they wanted me to put that little dash in, so maybe I did have that right in the beginning. I thought I was going a little bonkers there. That is, that's it. So that's why I'm doing these. I'm showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly. But that's they wanted that little dash in there that I did not have. If it doesn't match absolutely correctly, of course it doesn't go through. But this was a pretty nice task, and again another a nice intro to what is phishing. For you can actually go through here and you can actually see a lot of this happening in your business or in your organization. Um, so like things like people reusing their password happens all the time. Using the same password for 25 different websites, which is why I usually suggest that you sign up for something like "Have I Been Pwned?" The company edition, so that way if anybody in your company ever gets hit, then you can actually just simply you get notified and then you can actually talk to that person, because more than likely as soon as that email gets compromised, and if the email or sorry the password was in plain text, or there's a breach of any kind, that's most likely been compromised, and then you have to change that password and then have them change it for all other sites. Also, to mention for step number 6, this is why 2FA is such a big deal. 2FA is not infallible, but this is why we have layered defenses, layered security to solve stuff like this, beyond the security awareness training. But that is it for task 2. So I thank you very much, and I will see you when we do task 3, writing convincing phishing emails.